Let's go on. The regular meeting of council is now called to order, so we have to. I move that the closed meeting session be adjourned, Mr. Mayor, so that we may enter into a regular meeting of town council, seconded by Councillor Zant. That's fine then. All those in favor? Carried. Fine. So you have all the details that we dealt with at the closed meeting in your eScribe documents. You already had occasion to discuss some matters concerning consent items, and I believe we dealt with certain sub-items involving 11.4. Members' resolution, Councillor Guillemard? Oh, I think you skipped the question period. Geez, I wanted to go much faster than I wanted to. Sorry about that. Councillor Chouanière, Councillor Guillemard, any announcements? Councillor Zant? Anyone else on my left? None? My God, it's going to be a week. That's going to be a very quiet week. So thank you very much, one and all. Thank you. Let's go on now to question period. My, Mr. Mayor. Let's all wake up, shall we? All right. Gee. Question period. If any of you have any questions, please give us your name and your address. No questions? Well, maybe if you could repeat this in English, Mr. Mayor. If anyone has any questions to ask, now's the time to do it. Come to the front, your name and address. And then you're off and running. Thank you.
I'd like my address to be 1082 Baseline Road, Clarence Creek. I have not been able to live there since July of 2018.
Yes, I have your email here.
Thank you. Yeah, I emailed all of you today, and I got some really great responses. I just wanted to put a face to the request. I live there with my husband and my daughter, who is now 13. We didn't get to celebrate Christmas in our home, her birthday in our home. It's going to be at least a few more months until we can get back living there. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the property. This time around in 2018, it was a drunk driver who came off the road and impacted our house. We were on vacation at the time, so we weren't injured because the house was completely empty. We had a similar incident that happened 12 years ago, and I approached the city at that time, and it was a different mayor. And I was denied any sort of protection from the road. So we're open to whatever suggestions you have. Our suggestion would be a nice, big, strong guardrail, because I think it's a pretty basic expectation that we should be able to feel safe in our home.
Suggested put some big stones in the road so they wouldn't go through, but they told me we can't do that.
Well, I don't know if you already saw my big stone.
Yeah.
So I did that the first time. Yeah. And people told me that maybe I could get sued, but that, to me, doesn't seem realistic, because really then the guy could sue me for ending up in my kitchen, right? Yeah. This time he took out a tree with a base of about a foot diameter. So we had thought we were pretty secured from the road, but clearly we're not. So we need some help, please.
If you're coming at good speed, you are close enough.
Well, it's supposed to be 40 kilometers through there, but
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Hey, officer.
Yeah.
We see that.
So I just want to, I replied to you this morning,
Yes.
but I haven't had a
Yep, thank you.
chance to.
Yep, thank you.
So just so I understand, this is the house at the very, very top of Baseline, right before you start going down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a car made it that distance to your house?
Exactly. We are 150 feet from the road.
Oh, okay.
So feel free to drive by there. It's
Oh, I saw
really easy to find. It's the one that's covered in Tyvek right now. And like I said, we haven't lived there since July, and it'll be at least another 3 or 4 months.
And I think so I remember speaking to someone, someone that works at the dentist office.
Yes, I do.
All right, so this
Thank
is
you.
where.
I have a lot of advocates out there in the
Right.
community.
But, and I remember bringing it up at budget, that specific item, talking about putting a guardrail there, which Mr. Mayor started talking about rocks, but we are looking at something to put there, because you're right, it is a very dangerous area, especially where we're asking people to slow right down to 40 before they almost take a 90-degree turn. So,
Yeah.
but I remember we spoke about it. I don't know if Mr.
Leonard?
I could just add, it's that we retain a consultant group at that, because we have to be just like what you mentioned about putting a baby boulder there. Could be potential for liability or being sued or something like that. So the city as well, we see condition, we don't put the right type of installation there. So we retain a consultant to be able to identify what would be the appropriate measure there. And so we're waiting on their final analysis, and then it'll be covered through our operational budget. We have a budget for guardrails and that type of stuff, and be covered under there.
So as you can see, we've got it in the works.
And if I can, sorry, just because we're talking numbers, our insurance claim right now is at $260,000.
Just, and I'm no expert in road building, but that area is really bad in the spring. There's ground being poured down the road. I think it goes beyond a guardrail, because if we install a guardrail and the ground is getting chewed up every year, at one point the guardrail, so, and we discussed this area is really,
Yeah, but the thing is that on your property, I think it's just a question of speeding, it's
Yeah,
speed,
well-
because it's a straight line coming down to
no,
it.
I understand, but if the guardrail cannot hold because the ground is getting
We've
washed
never
away
had that
every spring.
deterioration in the front of our property. That's more to sort of, I guess, what would be the southeast going down
Okay.
the hill.
But I'm sure the consultant will tell us exactly what to put on that.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's probably a combination of speed, like there are other things to put in
Yeah, something to
place
slow people down, yeah.
other than just the guardrail, because we don't want to create a solid barrier wall.
Why though? I'm gonna ask why. So you don't want to put a solid barrier wall, so then my house becomes the barrier that stops cars? Because this is twice now in 13
Well,
and a
I
half
think
years
it's not a
that we've
question of
lived
not
there.
putting it, it's just that everybody gets covered, so we don't get sued down the road for, so we'd rather take,
Fair enough,
get it
but you also
studied.
have to remember that if we were home during this
Yep.
incident, it
No.
happened right around midnight on a Saturday night, you can ask my friends at the dental office, my friends that play hockey with you guys, my kitchen is typically full. I had a kitchen cabinet from the front wall where it was impacted, it flew 40 feet mid-air. So that's head height for anyone who would have been sitting or standing in my kitchen.
We realize that, but we want you covered, we want us covered, so we don't get sued by somebody that's really to blame, and then we end up paying for it, so. We're not taking any chance, but as you can realize, we're all aware of it, and we want to get something done. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take care of those.
Is there anyone else who'd care to step up to the mic? That's fine then. Let's go on. Councillor Grimard. Yes, item 9.1. Whereas previous older streets are much narrower than beforehand, and because older residents are now replaced by condominiums and duplexes, and whereas the city of Clemson Rockland will receive its master plan or official plan for transportation, be it resolved to ask our planning committee and our planning manager to come up with a plan to convert narrow streets in one-way streets, given proper consultation process that's conducted with the impacted residents. Questions? All those in favor then? Carried. Let's go on now to consent items. Are there any items you'd like to withdraw from the regular list of items? Councillor Levert, we have a short list before us here tonight. If you want to do it, you can do so. Mr. Mayor, certainly. Be it resolved that the following items, those identified under consent items appearing on the agenda of the 4th of March meeting, be adopted. 10.1, adoption of the minutes of the following meetings. The regular meeting of February the 20th, 2019. Committee of the Whole of February the 20th, 2019. Receipt also of the minutes of the following meetings. Public Library Board of January 15th, 2019. 10.3, resolution to amend Resolution 2019-33 in order to change the salary level of the newly hired project coordinator. Seconded by Councillor Simard. All those in favor? Carried. Then thank you. Let's go on now to 11.1. Councillor Bouchard. Be it resolved that Council approves the site plan submitted by Etienne Deschênes and Roxanne Peterson for the conversion of the existing building at 1984 Laurier Street from residential to commercial use, and be it resolved that Council authorizes the manager of development to sign a letter of undertaking with the applicant for the implementation of the approved site plan drawing. Seconded by Councillor Lalonde. Any questions? All those in favor? Carried then. Let's go on now to the request from Valoris in order to rent the Optimus Performance Hall. Be it resolved that report LOI 2019-03-02 be received as information. Seconded by Councillor Levert. Any questions? Fine. Just for clarification purposes, do we receive it for information purposes, or do we decide whether we're going to act upon this? Well, we're at the regular meeting of council. Mr. Boucher, well, the last time that the department came up with a recommendation concerning this matter, you asked us to come up with a report that sets out the facts. The facts are contained in the report. If we were to charge the full charge, it would amount to about $406. Instead, we're charging them $118. We're charging them back that amount. Well, do you want us to take a decision tonight, or will your department? No, you only required information of me and my department. Either we have them make use of the hall free of charge, but ask them to pay technical services. Like what nonprofit organizations do, we might as well offer them everything free of charge. But at a certain point in time, I have a hard time understanding that we'd say yes to a nonprofit organization and no to another nonprofit organization. If we take a look at what nonprofit organizations get from us all day long, free of charge, I believe if they are called upon to pay just for a sound technician for one day, that's fine. It doesn't cover the sound technician stipend? No, it doesn't. That's just for the rental of the performance hall. I second what Mr. Guillemard states here. We have prices inherent to this particular category, and we should adhere to that price schedule. Yes, because we have a lot of requests, that we field a lot of requests, and we have to base our decision upon, the nature of requests that we get day in and day out. And I'm just wondering whether this request should be forwarded to council as a whole. If we've already established rates covering nonprofit organization requests, the governance department should manage those. We shouldn't be called upon to do so myself. Well, sometimes, if I take a look at the requests stemming from the Roger Seguin Center, well, sometimes, the department can bring those particular exceptional requests, what they deem to be exceptional requests, to us for, individual consideration. But this one does not fall under that category. Mr. Mayor, no, you'll note that these requests are not funneled to me, but they're now funneled to the council directly. If they were funneled to me, if they were sent to me, they'd be dealt with immediately. Mrs. Ouellette, Mr. Mayor, the correspondence is forwarded to council. You may receive this bit of correspondence formally and forward it to our recreational department director, or just. But if the letter is sent to council, but these nonprofit organizations are very much aware of this council's policy. They're trying to circumvent the policies that have already been implemented. So the department shall manage in keeping with the policies adopted. All those in favor that we receive this for information purposes? Yes, fine. That's fine then. 11.3, site plan approval, dealing with 1529 Laurier Street. Be it resolved that council approves the site plan submitted by Jean Thivierge for the conversion of the existing building at 1529 Laurier Street from residential to commercial use, and be it resolved that council authorizes the manager of development to sign a letter of undertaking with the applicant for the implementation of the approved site plan drawing. Seconded by Councillor Levert. Any questions? All those in favor? Fine, thank you. Item 11.4, the Assistant Treasurer's position. You should have that before you, Mr. Sant. Go ahead. Yes. Fine. I have it before me here. Yes. Fine. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. The last two, the first two paragraphs. Be it resolved that council hereby approves the elimination of Director of Finance, Development, and Financial Analyst positions, and be it resolved that council approve the creation of a deputy treasurer position as recommended in report admin 2019-002. All right then, seconded by Councillor Caladeri. Just a question with regard to this. We're eliminating 2 positions and creating 1 alternate position. So I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Yes, we cut back on the budget dealing with this particular matter. Yes. Any other questions? All those in favor? Carried then. Thank you. Bylaws. Are there any bylaws you'd like to withdraw for individual consideration? No. Councillor Guillemard, be it resolved that the following bylaws be adopted. 12.1, 2019-25, part lot control, block 39-41, plan 50M-323. Bylaw 2019-26, appointment of an integrity commissioner. Bylaw 2019-27, property standard bylaw, and 2019-29, amendment to the user fees bylaw, schedule J, should I say. Seconded by Councillor Joignard. Any questions? All those in favor? Carried then. Confirmatory bylaw. Be it resolved that bylaw 2019-28 be deemed a confirmatory bylaw for the regular meeting of Town Council. For tonight's regular meeting of Town Council, the 4th of March. All those in favor? Carried. Adjournment called at 7:50 or 7:52. Geez, we beat a record.